Okay, this is part 2 of my oil catch can video. Okay, so I used a heat gun here to take the fittings I showed you in the last video off, which is right here. This fitting and this fitting, I can slide them, just barely use the heat gun enough to where they come off. And it was pretty simple. So I reused them here. Just use the heat gun. That's actually so tight that you don't even need a clamp. It's got a little washer or a gas seal in here that keeps it from leaking anything past it. So I can get my dipstick out if I need to. Again, check out Scotty Kilmer oil catch can if you want to get the link to this oil catch can. That's what I did. I bought it off Amazon for like 20 something bucks. It's pretty cheap. This one here is my end right here. So this is my end. It goes from here into here and then through some baffles into there, and then it catches any oil, and then it comes out of there all the way over to right here. I reuse this fitting as well, heated up the end of this tube it come with and actually slid on. Don't heat it up too much, of course, but just enough to where you almost start smelling it, and then take you some gloves or something, just whoosh, slide it over, and there we go. It goes onto the intake manifold. So out of my PVC, out of my valve cover into the oil catch can, out of there into here, and that's it. I mounted it on the I couldn't find nowhere to mount it where I can get this out. I was gonna have to make a mount, but instead there is a lift. This here is that you use to lift the engine out of the bay, and it's strapped to the engine. I put rubber around that and rubber around this mount here, and then I just use these heavy duty worm clamps to get that going, to make that, to have it stay on there, and it ain't going nowhere. I was afraid it might vibrate because of the engine and cause it to eat through them worm clamps. So I put rubber on both sides so that together they're just not metal to metal. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll have to do another video of how much I caught after 10,000 miles, or whenever it gets full, whichever comes quicker. But every time I do my oil change, I'm going to check it. Do my oil change like every 5,000 miles with full synthetic, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how I've been driving it. I usually pull a little trailer, utility trailer 5x8 from Tractor Supply. So again, use the heat gun, heat up this hose to pull those fittings off, so that whenever I go back to the dealership for my warranty, I can just pop these back over the factory, and it'll be like that, and it'll be factory again, so that they won't ever know that I put a oil catch can, because I don't want to award. This is not I don't want to void my warranty using aftermarket parts, or using a setup that's not designed by them. So I think that's a horrible design flaw in the first place. So screw them. I'm gonna put an oil catch can. Also inside of this, right below this is actually for the baffle. Okay, it's like a filter. Okay, if you're gonna just vent it into the atmosphere on some vehicles, older vehicles, you just come straight out of the valve cover one, go out of here, out of the top, screw this into the top, and it's atmospheric. It'll catch any oil. You just clean this off every now and then and dump it. But me, I got to come out because of my sensors and go to here on my intake, so intake plenum. So basically, underneath this screw, underneath this bolt right here, there's actually two baffles. What I did is I put some scouring pads, some metal scrubby. I didn't pack it in there too tight. You can actually take one of the baffles off, and I just put it in there not too tight where I can see perfect sunlight through there still, and then screwed it back on. And then that way the atomized, the oil that comes through there, in my last video I was talking about sticking it in the bottom of this can, but I was afraid it's going to fill up and actually creep up to this outport. So I said, no, I'll go ahead and just put a little bit in this so it catches any vapor and makes it drop straight into the container. It's just a little extra. Don't pack it in there, just put it in there lightly. But again, here it is. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll let y'all know with the update. It looks like all the hoses aren't touching anything that's going to cause it to burn or rub holes in it, so I don't even have to set it down. I mean, strap it down to anything. It'll be perfect. So let's start it up. Makeshift tripod. Probably gonna slip down whenever I start the car up anyway, so I'm just gonna start it up. Y'all can hear it. Really didn't make no difference in how it runs, but it'll save me from getting gunked up intake valves, and that will got the house. Gunked up intake valves will cause you to have bad. There's a trailer I pull with it, but I also pull this. Actually picked up 4 bells with it. Bought this for $300. Pretty nice little gadget. Just back right up with the little car and get plenty of people give me a thumbs up and on the highway and taking pictures of me. But yeah, she's a good little car. She'll keep the intake valves from getting clogged up and causing me to have bad gas mileage and poor performance. So got about 50,000 miles. I'm glad I did it, now instead of waiting. Doesn't look too bad either. If you got any comments or things I did wrong, just give me a shout. I appreciate any negative criticism as well as positive. I couldn't find any regular non-aspirated videos of this, so I went ahead and made my own. Thanks YouTube, and take care.